Call me crazy, but I believe that the team from pot 1 will finish rock bottom in this group, and instead the team from pot 4 will top this group. What is up, guys? The Champions League season is around the corner, starting in a couple of days, and I think after already doing our Champions League Fantasy, it's about time we predict the group stages of the new season. This time there are some groups that are rather clear on paper and should be quick, but on the other hand there is also three groups that are really balanced and really tricky to predict. I'm gonna try. Let's go! So as you all know, the Champions League draw this year started off right with a bang. Group A here was so close to becoming the ultimate group of death. If only we would have got Milan here from pot 4, oh my god. But like that, it is still a massive group of death. Man City here, last year's finalists. PSG, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, Ramos, Hakimi and co. Has to be the best squad in the world right now on paper. Then we have RB Leipzig, can't be underestimated either. Made it to the semis 2 years ago. And the smallest side here is Club Brugge, still the Belgian champions, who are always tough to face on an away game. But after all, the roles should still be quite clearly assigned here. Club Brugge are the clear underdogs here. I don't think they will get battered. They will do very well, I think, for their standards. But do they have a chance to go through here? I doubt it. And then the biggest question here will surely be if Leipzig are really strong enough to challenge the two superpowers PSG and Man City. I am not quite sure about that, because Leipzig are pretty much a different squad than they were last season. They lost quite a few key players: Upamecano, Konate, Sabitzer, and obviously also their manager Julian Nagelsmann to Bayern. Now with their new manager, American Jesse Marsch, came from Salzburg. What a surprise. They still made amazing signings and replaced their departures accordingly. Andre Silva came from Frankfurt, Josko Guardiol and Mohamed Simakan, two big centre-back talents, and then also obviously Ilaix Moriba from Barca. Dominik Szoboszlai is also basically a new signing, so they really have a stacked team. I just think that they might need more time to get these processes right and really build that chemistry, because there is a lot of new players and a lot of departures. And maybe in 1 or 2 years time they will be able to seriously challenge PSG and City. Just now though, I don't think they are ready for that yet. And I slightly see that same chemistry problem with PSG as well. Mauricio Pochettino might take some time to get all these superstars fit in the right system, and so I can see PSG dropping some points against Leipzig and especially City. I see City more mature. They're basically the same squad as last year, just with one addition, Jack Grealish. So if you ask me, Group A is going to finish like that. Man City on top, PSG finish second, Leipzig go to Europa League where they can really do well, and Club Brugge put up a good fight, but they aren't quite on the quality level of these upper three. Let's continue with my personal favorite group, Group B. Oh my god, what is that? We have Atletico here, the Spanish champions, we have Liverpool, we have Porto, and we have Milan from pot 4. This is actually one of the really balanced groups. Well, surely on paper Atletico and Liverpool here are the favorites, they have the strongest squads, but then on pot 3 you have Porto. Last season they went to the quarterfinals. And then we also got the strongest team from pot 4, Milan, who qualified for the UCL for the first time since 2014. Yo, this group could really go either way. I definitely see those four very close together. I don't think anyone will get above 15 points. I really think that it might be like 4th place has 7 points and 1st place has 12 or 13 points. I do see Atletico Madrid very strong this season though. They got themselves some fresh new players. Antoine Griezmann came from Barca on loan. They got themselves Mateusz Cunha from Hertha, very underrated center forward, and also Rodrigo de Paul from Udinese. I think Atletico are the strongest team here out of those four, because Liverpool's squad depth, I've talked about it already in the Premier League prediction video, might hurt them and might lead to them dropping a couple of points. With that said, I still think that the Reds will advance just below Atletico in my opinion. Porto and Milan though, can one of them advance here? Definitely. Will it happen though? I don't think so, to be quite honest. Who is gonna finish third though between Porto and Milan? Oh man, this is so difficult. Okay, come on. These are my results. Atletico on top, Liverpool finish second, Milan get the Europa League spot, and Porto very unlucky to get put in this group to finish last. I really don't think it's gonna be big margins. I could see anything happening up until the last match day, really. And now we're heading into another group that is really balanced. Group C. On top in pot 1 we have actually Portuguese champions, Sporting, who finally won the league again after I think 20 years. Dortmund are there as well. There is Ajax, and then there is Besiktas from Turkey. Wow, another one that is not easy to predict. I think we can agree that Besiktas should be the weakest team out of those four. With all due respect, but Ajax, Sporting and Dortmund are just a bit better than Besiktas, even though they make great transfers, as all Turkish teams have in general this season. Super League had a big transfer market, and Besiktas have signed the likes of Miralem Pjanic, Gezal from Leicester, Batshuayi from Chelsea, and Alex Teixeira. But I still don't really think that they can keep up with Sporting, Dortmund, and Ajax. Between these three now, I think the popular choice will be Dortmund and Ajax advance, Sporting to Europa League. I guess, right? But I think most of us here didn't watch a lot of the Portuguese league last season. Sporting absolutely dominated. Sadly, they've lost their young star left back Nuno Mendes to PSG, but they've replaced him with Ruben Vinagre from Wolves. And on top of that, they've also got Pablo Sarabia for right wing / attacking midfield. I think he will be valuable for them. The likes of Pedro Gonçalves up front, Palhinha as the number 6, Coates in the back, and also Pedro Porro, their right back. These guys are all going under the radar. I fully believe Sporting are advancing in this group. Who is gonna miss out though? Dortmund or Ajax? For me, that is Ajax. Dortmund on top, Sporting second. Ajax go to Europa League and Besiktas finish 4th. I think the problem is that many people still believe Ajax are that team that they were in 2019. They're not. Sadly, they're not. Don't get me wrong, they're still a super solid team. They do have chances to advance here. I think it's going to be very close between Sporting and Ajax. I just see Sporting slightly above them right now. My gut feeling, I think it's going to happen. Now, these were 3 massive groups so far. Let's calm down a little bit. Head into the next one. That is Group D. This is actually the same group that we got last season. Inter, Real Madrid, and Shakhtar were all in the same group. Just instead of Gladbach, who aren't even playing internationally this year, we have the absolute underdog Sheriff. I think the powers here are clearly distributed. Sheriff are easily topping that group. No, honestly, Sheriff have a market value, whole squad, of 12 million euros. My club HSV, that absolutely sucks in Bundesliga 2, has almost 3 times the value that Sheriff has. I just mentioned that to be able to flex with my club. No, seriously. I just want to visualize how huge the difference really is between, on the one hand, Inter, Real Madrid, and even Shakhtar, and on the other hand, Sheriff. Like, my club Hamburg would easily get battered 6 times in this group, and if Sheriff are only 1/3 of the market value that my club has, what's gonna happen to them? Obviously, anything can happen, but logically speaking, I just think that Sheriff will finish 4th in that group. The question now is, are Inter gonna get knocked out yet again? And are they gonna be below Shakhtar this time as well? For me, Inter overall, under Inzaghi now, are worse than last season. No Lukaku, no Hakimi. Call me crazy, but the problem with Inter under Conte in the Champions League is Conte. Great manager, but always found a way to bottle it in the Champions League or even in the Europa League. Now, this is my prediction for Group D. Real Madrid on top, still see them better than Inter. Inter, though, finally going to the round of 16. Shakhtar, just like last year, into the Europa League. And Sheriff, let's be honest, if they win a game, that would be a massive success. 4 groups done, 4 groups to go, and next up we have Group E here. This one again should be pretty clear, right? From pot 1 we have Bayern, then we have Barca, then Benfica, who qualified through the playoffs in a tough game against PSV Eindhoven, was very close. To be honest, Benfica were lucky to go through there. And then Dynamo Kiev from Ukraine. These guys are starting to become regular UCL participants again. Much respect to them. Can they do something in that group though? I'm gonna be quick with this one. I think Bayern are on top, the strongest team in that group. Then Barca, many people actually say they're gonna struggle against Benfica and maybe even go to Europa League. That would be a shock. I personally think they are not as bad as people say without Messi. They now have Memphis Depay, who's gonna be absolutely massive for them this season, if you ask me. Griezmann departure, he wasn't needed by them anyway. In defense, they should actually be better than last year. I think they're not quite as good as Bayern, but they are not that bad that they're gonna finish 3rd. For me, this group was one of the easiest to predict. This is my ranking. Bayern on top, Barca go through a 2nd, Benfica go to Europa League, and Dynamo Kiev, yeah, they might win a game against Benfica. They might also pull off a draw against either Barca or Bayern, but overall, I don't see them getting more than 5 points in this group. And Benfica 2nd for me is a large stretch. They barely qualified against PSV, who were better than them in my opinion. They are worse than Sporting, like, might even be worse than Porto, probably the 3rd best team in Portugal right now. Now we're getting to a group that is more interesting and more unclear in terms of who's gonna finish where. Group F, we have pot 1, Villarreal, pot 2 only United, pot 3 Atalanta, and from pot 4 Swiss champions Young Boys. Are United really gonna get knocked out again and finish 3rd here? Are Villarreal and Atalanta, or maybe even Young Boys, getting above them? Gonna be honest straight away, no. United are going to advance here, and I also think that United are gonna advance as first. Look at their team this season, way stronger than last year. Cristiano Ronaldo is not gonna get knocked out in the Champions League group stages, no. So for me, the interesting part really comes when rating Villarreal, Atalanta, and Young Boys. Villarreal, as holding Europa League champions, are obviously in pot 1, also beat Man United last season. Squads that they have now are a little bit different though. So are Villarreal, the Europa League champions, better than Atalanta? I think this is going to be another one of these head-to-head battles that are being decided on the last match day. Most notably, Atalanta have lost Cristian Romero to Spurs. They replaced him with Meri Demiral though. Also a signing that I really like, Koopmeiners, Dutch midfield talent from Alkmaar. So for me, Atalanta are more or less same level as last year. Guess what? I'm gonna do it like that. Man United up top, Atalanta finished second and advanced, very close above Villarreal, and then Young Boys a few points below them on fourth. I think Villarreal have a much stronger defense than Atalanta, so this will really be defense versus attack. And Atalanta up front, Luis Muriel, Duvan Zapata, Ruslan Malinovski, my favorite guy. A few guys who've done well at the Euros, Remo Freuler, Matteo Pessina. So Gasparini's guys from Bergamo really have a ton of attacking power. I see them slightly above Villarreal. I could see Atalanta maybe on 9 or 10 points, Villarreal on 8 or 9. Maybe it's even head-to-head that decides. So Atalanta-Villarreal will really be a battle to watch out for in the Champions League group stage. One of the closest ones. Young Boys, on the other hand, maybe getting 3 or 4 points, but I don't see them having serious chances to advance here. And now, guys, we're getting to a group that has been my favorite to predict, Group G. Oh my god, is this group balanced? For me, the most balanced group of them all. We have French champions Lille from pot 1, then we have Sevilla, always sick in European competitions, pot 2. We have Salzburg, who always surprise in the group stages, always come close to advancing, pot 3. And then one of the strongest teams from pot 4, Wolfsburg. First time for them in the Champions League since 2016, where they got an unlucky quarter-final exit. So who is really the best team out of those 4? Who is the worst? Man, this is gonna be so tough to tell. And listen, I believe I have a highly unpopular prediction for this Group G. I've already told you in my UCL Fantasy how much I rate Wolfsburg and how much they're being overlooked. They're doing amazing in the Bundesliga right now under new manager Mark van Bommel. Even if you haven't watched them, you can look at their squad on paper. They have a higher market value than both Lille and Salzburg. And I'm telling you, these guys are really stacked. Koen Castells is a top-class keeper. Lacroix is a top centre-back talent. They also have Borneau, John Anthony Brooks. Their defense is massive and their strongest power. In midfield, Austrian box-to-box talent Xaver Schlager. They have Maximilian Arnold. And up front, right winger Riedle Baku, Wout Weghorst, and Maximilian Philipp, Lucas and Mecha. These guys have a lot of sick players. Whilst Lille, despite winning Ligue 1, have had to save money this summer. They sold their goalie Mike Maignan and also their central defensive midfielder Soumaré to Leicester. And their most prominent signing was a guy from my club Hamburg, Amadou Onana. Great player, don't get me wrong, but to do well in the Champions League, I don't really think that their transfer summer has been appropriate. Now let me show you my unpopular prediction for Group G. Here it is. Yes guys, call me crazy, but I believe that the team from pot 1 will finish rock bottom in this group, and instead the team from pot 4 will top this group. I simply have that feeling that Lille once again won't do well at all in the Champions League, Wolfsburg topping it. In between those two then, Sevilla for me almost certain to qualify. They might also be first in that group. I'm gonna go with Wolfsburg though, but it's gonna be very close between Wolfsburg and Sevilla. Then Salzburg going to Europa League. I think they can win one game against Lille and getting another draw. I just don't have a lot of trust in Lille, I think you can tell. Whew, let's calm down. This Group G for me, despite being the worst based on overall quality probably, is one of the most interesting ones because it's simply so close. And to finish off this group stage prediction in a slightly more relaxed way, we're now heading to our last group, Group H. This one should be rather clear. We have the current title holders Chelsea, we have Juventus without Ronaldo, Zenit from Russia, and also Malmö from Sweden. Here on paper we have two big teams that are expected to advance and two underdog teams, especially one which is Malmö. They have a market value overall of 26 million euros. And once again, I like to use my club HSV as an example. I just looked it up actually. We have a market value of 39 million euros. So 1.5 times as much as Malmö. Would we be able to advance against Chelsea, Juventus and Zenit? Surely not. Will Malmö do it? Probably not. Zenit are considerably stronger than Malmö, but they still can't keep up with Juventus and Chelsea. As bad as Juventus have become, they will still advance here. So this one for me was the easiest prediction of them all. Group H is going to finish like that. Chelsea up top, then Juventus, who in my opinion are wearing the jersey. I hope they finish first, but I can't see it. I think they don't stand a chance against the Blues right now. I think they might get 1 point against them in the 2 games. Not more though. I don't think they're going to win against the Blues. Then Zenit clear third and Malmö. Similarly to Sheriff, they're not that small, but still, I don't expect Malmö to get more than 3 points. And that is it, guys. The Champions League group stages have been predicted by Prediction Fiago himself. Will be very interesting to see how that turns out. I'm absolutely going to keep predicting the whole Champions League season, continuing with the round of 16. That will be in 2022, though. In the meantime, it's your turn, guys. Let me know your group stage prediction right now in the comment section. Maybe yours is very much different to mine. Maybe we can agree on some groups. I think some groups are rather clear. Some groups are hot takes where our opinions will differ. I'm excited to see yours in the comments. I'm just so damn hyped to see the Champions League finally returning. I think we all are. And in case you haven't done it yet, feel free to still join my UCL Fantasy League. Link for the video is right there. Totally free to join and there will be cash prizes. I'm looking forward to see you right there in that league. And in the meantime, Prediction Fiago is out. Champions League Fiago is out. Peace.